What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTP Sports. Phillies win. They managed to beat the Nationals today by a score of 6-4. Duran gets his revenge, even though it was still fucking bullshit and fluky, as it was last night. 8 and 9 hole hitters, they take freaking 100 a million miles an hour down the middle of the plate, and they barely swing their bat, and it just finds a way to go down the left field and the right field lines for doubles. And thankfully, no runs scored after that. Duran was able to get James Wood and CJ Abrams to get out of the game and to save the game, so Duran got his revenge. Aaron Nola tonight, he was pretty solid. He gave you a quality start. Now, granted, the last inning of his work in the 6th inning, he did allow 2 solo shots to make it a closer game than it needed to be. So that was definitely kind of annoying in that purpose. But still, he went 6 innings, only allowed 3 runs. And there was one inning when the Phillies did explode the game open to score a bunch of runs that, the defense really did not help Aaron Nola out. And Aaron Nola only escaped that inning, only allowing the 1 run. And granted, that run was unearned because it was a stupid play by Weston Wilson, where he should have just taken the ball to first base, but he tried to go for the double play, and then he ended up hitting the base runner with the ball, and all the runners ended up safe on second and third base. So, yeah, that definitely was annoying there. Bullpen-wise, David Robertson struck out the side. Matt Strom, once again, getting dicey, allowed the leadoff double, but then he gets the next 3 guys out. So in classic Matt Strom no, actually, he doesn't, because he then hits a batter, and then Kerkering has to come in, and then he gets 1 pitch to record the 3rd out of the 8th inning. That slipped my mind. I think for some reason, it blended into last night and tonight with Matt Strom. So you needed 2 pitchers to get out of the 8th inning, but Kerkering only needed 1 pitch to get out of it. So he's available for tomorrow. He is available for tomorrow. Offensively, definitely opportunistic today. They had the big inning, like I said. They had the 5-run 4th inning. They also scored an extra run in the 5th as well. We know Trey Turner has a solo shot. Edmundo Sosa has a huge 3-run home run. You string a couple of hits together. Bryce Harper with a single, JT Realmuto with a double, Alec Bohm with a double, and then you eventually get the Edmundo Sosa 3-run shot. Trey Turner gets his 2nd home run at Citizens Bank Park this year. You should have had a 7th run in this ball game if it wasn't for Alec Bohm being slow as fucking molasses. My God, Harrison Bader would have doubled down the line in the bottom of the 8th inning with 2 outs, and Alec Bohm can't score from first base. Like, the dude was, like, any other runner scores easily there. Fucking Kyle Schwarber scores easily there. Does Nick Castellanos score easily there? Maybe not. It's like a tight contest between who's slower, Alec Bohm or Nick Castellanos. But I feel like Nick Castellanos probably would have made it closer than Alec Bohm did, because Alec Bohm got thrown out by like a couple of feet. Should not have been that close, because any other runner scores there. And it should have been a 7-4 game and less stress out there for Duran. And thankfully, he still managed 2-run lead. I still figured he was going to get the save. Granted, the Nationals, they don't fucking go away for some reason, so they still made it more difficult than it needed to be. But you still got to win. A win is a win, and now it doesn't matter what the Mets do tonight, even though I know they're beating the Braves right now, I think by like 6-4 or something like that, or 6-2 or something like that. So most likely not getting any help from the Braves, which is to be expected because the Braves do stink. So I'm not really guaranteeing anything right there. Yeah, the Mets are winning 7-2 in the top of the 7th inning, so you're not getting any help from that perspective. So you took care of your own business tonight. So, and it's still going to be a 6-game lead above the Mets after tonight's game. So you still got to win tomorrow's game. Ranger Suarez is going to be on the mound tomorrow. You got to win the series. You got to win 2 of 3, going into Queens, going into Citi Field for a very huge series Monday through Wednesday against this New York Mets squad. And the Mets do look like they are playing better. And granted, they are playing the Atlanta Braves, who probably at this point they're worse than the Washington Nationals. It just really feels like that. So maybe that is the case. You got to go into New York. You first of all, don't even worry about New York right now. You got to win tomorrow. You do got to win tomorrow. That is the most important thing. So we just look at everything from today. Aaron Nola definitely way much better. 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 of those earned, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. Velocity was up for Aaron Nola, which is a very good sign. He was throwing, topping around 94 on a lot of his fastballs tonight, so that definitely is a very good sign for Aaron Nola as we progress further into more of his starts. So let's hope if he can keep that velocity up, that definitely does make me feel a little bit better. Obviously, the home run ball is still going to be an issue because it's Aaron Nola. He does allow home runs, but if you can keep those the solo shots, I guess it's not the end of the world. 97 pitches, 64 strikes, so very good stuff there from Nola. David Robertson, like I said, he struck out the side, so Unk is doing his job. He's still got a lot of gas left in the tank. Matt Strom, he allowed 2 hits, struck out 2. He did allow a run, obviously. With an RBI double, he hit the batter all as well, so Kerkering had to come into the ballgame to use the 1 pitch to get out of the inning. Duran, he allowed the 2 hits, threw 12 strikes, struck out 1 to record the save, so overall it was a pretty consistent night. And then from your offensive perspective, you were getting no hit actually for the first 4 innings of this ball game, first 3-4 innings, until Bryce Harper's single with 1 out in the bottom of the 4th that really stretched into that, well, basically overlapped into that big inning. So Harper in the 4th, he gets that single with 1 out. JT doubles into the gap that scores Bryce. Bohm doubles into the gap that scores JT. It becomes 2-0. Castellanos, he fouls out, so it's 2 outs here for Harrison Bader. He gets a single, which moves Bohm over to third base, so you have first and third for Edmundo Sosa. He gets a fastball that he likes and sends it into the stands for a 3-run shot, making it 5-0. Top 5, Cruz reaches in on an infield single, and then you get the whole stupid crap with Weston Wilson trying to force the double play to happen when he should have just stepped on first base to get the easy first out there. Then grounds out, well, just an RBI ground out there to make it 1-0. And then Aaron Nola came back to strikeout Hassel and James Wood to get out of the inning, basically limiting the damage. So good there on Nola. Trey Turner, he gets that run back with a solo shot to lead off the bottom of the 5th inning, makes it 6-1. But then you go top of the 6th, Abrams with a leadoff solo shot that goes off the foul pole in an 0-2 count. Nola tried to sneak that 2-seamer inside. It just got a little too much at the plate. Abrams, just barely got fair at that point. It hits the foul pole. So it's a 6-2 game, and then he hangs a curveball over the middle of the plate to Garcia, and he sends it into the bushes in center field to make it 6-3. Nola eventually gets out of that inning, limiting the damage to 6-3. That would be it for him. Top 7, Robertson strikes out the side. Really not much offensively in the 6th and the 7th for the Phillies. The Phillies did have a base runner with a Bader 2-out single. He did advance to second on a balk, but nothing happened there. Top of the 8th, this is when Strom's out there on the mound. He allows a double to Wood to lead off the inning, but then strikes out Abrams, strikes out the pinch hitter for Josh Bell, and then Garcia, who has been a fucking pain in the ass this series for some reason. He hits a double down the right field line that scores James Woods. Then Matt Strom hits Lyle with a pitch. Then you go to Kerkering. He gets Cruz to ground out on 1 pitch. It was a good play by Edmundo Sosa as well at second base. Bottom 8, you had the walk by Bohm. Then you had the double by Bader, which any other runner would have scored there. But it's also Alec Bohm. He's slow as fucking molasses. He gets thrown out at home plate to prevent the 7th run from scoring for the Phillies. Then you go to that top of the 9th. Duran gets a ground out to start the inning, but then House doubles, just poking it down the left field line, basically. It's basically these 2 batters, House and Passel, same exact result. Literally not even trying to swing in the direction that they're hitting the ball at. It just happens to go that way because that's how fast Duran was throwing. So House doubles down the right field line. Hassel singles down the left field line to make it 1st and 3rd. Then you get the strikeout James Wood, which was very good, and then C.J. Abrams flew out on the 2nd pitch to end the ball game. So Duran gets his revenge from last night. Just for some reason, the bottom of the Nationals lineup just didn't feel like giving up. They did not feel like giving up whatsoever. So if you go to the lineup today, Trey Turner 1 for 3 with a solo shot and a walk. Kyle Schwarber 0 for 4. Bryce Harper 1 for 4. So they did a little bit something different today. Bryce Harper was the DH today. Kyle Schwarber played in left field. Edmundo Sosa played second base. Weston Wilson played first. Bader played in center field. Bader actually had a pretty good day offensively, actually. Harper went 1 for 4 with a single. JT 1 for 4 with the RBI double. Bohm 1 for 3 with the RBI double and a walk. Nick Castellanos, he went 0 for 3 with a walk. Bader, he went 3 for 4 in today's game, so good for him. Edmundo Sosa 1 for 3 with a 3-run shot. Then Weston Wilson went 0 for 3 in today's game. The Phillies did go 3 for 5 with runners in scoring position, so they did mostly get hits when they did have their chances. The Nationals did have a lot of chances in this game. They went 2 for 11 with runners in scoring position. And it took a little bit for them to get to Parker on the mound. They did eventually get to him in that 4th and 5th inning, so they did score their 6 runs, which they should have. It's still crazy, though, that the Phillies are not mashing against this Nationals bullpen, but you still got the win at the end of the day, so that is the most important thing. I didn't expect Duran to blow 2 saves in a row to this Nationals team, even though they make it difficult for some reason. They just don't go away. That's just what they just don't go away. And I guess you could say there's credit where credit is due. They are a young team that's scrappy, and they just, they're a pain in the ass to play against. But it's still just like, just go down, just lay down and die. Just lay down and die. And that's not what they do. It's not what they do. But you do get the win. That's the most important thing. You're now 21 games above 500. After today, most likely the Mets are most likely going to beat the Braves, unless bearing another very ugly collapse by the Mets bullpen. It'll still be a 6-game lead above the Mets for first place in the National League East. And then if we go to tomorrow's game, that is a 1:30 start. It'll be Jake Irvin against Ranger Suarez. Have the Phillies seen Irvin this year? They didn't see him in the last series. So did he pace the Phillies at all this year? He did. He allowed 6 earned runs. He allowed 6 earned runs against the Phillies in 6 innings, 8 hits, 2 home runs, 3 walks. That was on April 30th. The Phillies won that game by a score of 7-2. And then he also pitched against him in the second game of the season, where he went 5 innings, only allowing 2 earned runs, 1 home run as well, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. So the Phillies have seen him this year, right-handed pitcher. So you'll go to your right-handed lineup most likely, or your left-handed heavy lineup tomorrow. So most likely Max Kepler will be playing tomorrow and all that stuff. So yeah. Also, Irvin has not been good at all in his last so many starts. He went 6 innings against the Mets, allowed 6 earned runs. 4 innings against Kansas City, allowed 6 earned runs. 5 1/3 against San Fran, allowed 3 earned runs. 4 innings against Milwaukee, allowed 5 earned runs. So most likely he'll be going 7 innings of shutout baseball against the Phillies tomorrow. That's just the way this shit goes. Knock on wood. Knock on wood. And Ranger Suarez, hopefully he could build off of his last start that he had against the Seattle Mariners, where he went 6 2/3, only allowed 2 earned runs. Granted, one of those runs was because of Jordan Romano, and also struck out 10. So hopefully Ranger can build off of that and everything like there. The Phillies did also get some breaking news before today's ball game. It was a couple of hours before, and it was probably the news that we were expecting about Zach Wheeler. Basically, news I was expecting as well. So this was a few hours before today's ball game. They had a medical update on Zach Wheeler. So this is from the Phillies, their statement. Right-handed pitcher Zach Wheeler had a follow-up evaluation and received a second opinion this week after his successful right upper extremity blood clot removal on Monday, August 18th. Wheeler was diagnosed with a venous thoracic outlets with venous thoracic outlet syndrome, and the recommendation is to undergo thoracic outlet decompression surgery in the coming weeks. Details of the surgery are forthcoming. The timeline of recovery from the surgery is generally 6 to 8 months. So that basically states that Zach Wheeler is done for the season. So whenever he does get this surgery, that means he'll be out 6 to 8 months. And if you do the timeline of 6 to 8 months from whenever he does it in the next few weeks, then it most likely means he's going to get the surgery at some point in September, I would assume, maybe September, October. So most likely Zach Wheeler will not be returning until the beginning of next season, whether that's April or May or something like that. And still, granted, you can't even guarantee that it's going to be normal Zach Wheeler, just because I really don't know many pitchers that have come back from this surgery and became normal. I don't know how rare this surgery is for pitchers. I feel like some people say Merrill Kelly went through that surgery or something like that, so I'm not entirely sure. We're just going to have to wait and see. Let Zach Wheeler get the surgery, let him heal up, go through the rehab process, and yeah, it's the right thing. You gotta get this job done, because blood clots are no joke, and good thing that the Phillies are probably getting him the best care possible. So Zach Wheeler is done for the season. It does suck, but it is the right thing to do, just because of the craziness that is blood clots. You just don't know what is going to happen with those. So he is out for the season, 6 to 8 months once he does get his surgery eventually. So we'll just see whenever they do provide us an update on that. But it was a good sign that Aaron Nola did have a good start today, especially with the velocity up with Aaron Nola. That definitely is a bright spot there. That definitely does provide me a little bit of hope for his next few starts, just to see where they do go. Because Aaron Nola, obviously, the past few years, his velocity has been around like 91, 92. He was throwing 93, 94 consistently tonight. And that is a very good thing for Aaron Nola if he can top, 94 consistently, because locating your pitches, it definitely is better when you're throwing around 94 instead of 91, 92, maybe sometimes even 90. So that's a very good thing there for Aaron Nola. Very good thing. And I don't think Nola is scheduled to pitch at all in this Mets series. So the next time Nola is scheduled to pitch is Thursday against the Atlanta Braves. So that's when he is expected to pitch. So you got Ranger Suarez tomorrow against Irvin. Then Christopher Sanchez is the first pitcher to pitch against the Mets in that series, going up against Kodai Senga. Then Jesus Luzardo on Tuesday against Sean Manaea. Then Taijuan Walker against McLean, that rookie that they just called up, who has been pretty good to start his first, very short major league career. 5 1/3 shutout baseball against Seattle. Then 7 innings of 2-earned run ball against the Atlanta Braves with 7 strikeouts. So definitely going to be a tough one this series, but definitely you gotta do your job. You gotta win tomorrow. That is the most important thing. Win tomorrow's game. Win tomorrow's game. Win tomorrow's game. That is the most important thing. You cannot lose this series. You cannot lose this series to the Washington Nationals because you don't know what the Mets are going to do tomorrow either. Because who are the Mets throwing on the mound tomorrow against the Braves? Who are the Mets throwing? Because I think it was Clay Holmes tonight. So Peterson's on the mound tomorrow afternoon for the Mets. So you will be avoiding Peterson. So yeah. So we'll see. I think Dave Dombrowski even spoke on the thing, but he was basically just restating everything they did about the media release on it. So we'll see. There was also a thing from Andrew Painter in last night's performance. He had 5 strikeouts across 5 innings of 1-run baseball. Will they consider calling him up this year just to have some pitching depth? I'm not entirely sure. Probably not. Yeah. There's really not much there from today's game. It was, you got the win. That was the most important thing. Definitely was the most important thing. Got to win tomorrow, though. Got to win tomorrow. Cannot lose a series to this Nationals team. You already split against them in D.C. Got to win 2 of 3. Got to win 2 of 3 to get at least the vibes up going into this Mets series. Got to win those 2 of 3. Because it will be a very huge one against the Mets. Whether it's going to be you win tomorrow and the Mets win tomorrow, it'll still be 6 games above them going into that series. If you win and they lose, it'll be 7 games. If you lose, they win, it'll be 5 games. You lose, they lose, it'll be still 6 games. So it's a weird thing. So at best, it would be 7 games. At worst, it's 5 games. In the middle, it's 6 games going into that series. So that's basically where it'll be at. If I'm doing my math right. We do have a voicemail here on the Anytime Hotline. We will get to that in a little bit here. I do see some comments as well. We will also get to that. Let me just boot up everything here for the chat and everything like that. Well, the voicemails and all that stuff. It's the voicemail from Sean. So let's see what Sean has to say.
Whew, a little too dicey there at the end, but the Phillies escape with the win. I think once Johan Duran realized that, let's put the breaking stuff away a little bit and let's start cranking 103 consistently, things started to turn around for him in that inning. First of all, thoughts and prayers to Zach Wheeler. I mean, we kind of expected that he wasn't going to be back this year now that it's confirmed. I mean, what a shame for this guy at the end of his career to have this season end the way it did, but it's bigger than baseball. We know that. I mean, nice win for the Phillies tonight, and Mundo Sosa contributing, Bader contributing, but Alec Bohm, my God, I think I can walk faster than Alec Bohm can run. How can you not score on that Bader double in the 8th inning? That dies up against the wall. I mean, amazing. But you got to get the win tomorrow. I mean, the Nationals, give them credit. They're playing hard. They're playing hard for Miguel Cairo. They're scrapping till the end. They don't go away. They're a pain in the ass. So I think Ranger goes tomorrow. You got to get that win. You got to take 2 out of 3 after the tough loss in Game 1.
I agree. I 100% agree there. You got to go after and get the win. Did Ranger pitch against the Nationals in that 4-game series? I'm not entirely sure. Ranger. No, I think he pitched in the Cincinnati series, so he did not pitch. He did not pitch in that national series. Has Ranger pitched against I think Rangers pitched against Washington this year, right? If I'm not mistaken. Granted, it probably would have been in the first half when he was pitching very good, if he did. No, he isn't. No, he is not. Because they put the Nationals obviously on the opening week, on the opening series. No, he hasn't pitched against Washington this year. So it'll be the first time Washington is seeing him this year. Maybe that is a benefit to Ranger Suarez. Yeah. But yeah, the Alec. As soon as I saw Alec Bohm, the way that he ran around third base, I was like, don't tell me he's gonna get thrown out because the turn around third just looked so awkward. He stuttered going around third base. Like I said, any other like Trey Turner is like halfway home at that point. Bryce Harper is hustling the living hell out of his life to get home. Same thing with Kyle Schwarber. Those guys would have beat the throw out. Like I feel like Nick would have made it close. I still think Nick gets thrown out. Marsh would have got there. Stott would have got there. Hell, even Kepler probably would have got there. Bader would have got there. Sosa would have got there. Anybody else, JT would have got there. So basically, you had the worst possible scenario there. One of your worst base runners in that situation. Any other base runner would have scored. And then you would probably get somebody right after that. Oh, why did you pinch running for Bohm? Why don't you bring Stott in and all that stuff? Then you put Sosa at third base. You put Stott at second base. Blah, 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 blah. Something probably someone would say. So, yeah. It was definitely not pretty from the Alec Bohm experience on the base paths. It never really is, honestly, with the way that that man runs. Austin, how you doing? That's what I'm talking about. That's why he's the GOAT. I'm assuming that means about Duran. Great bounce back win from Franco. That's Trap Series exposed. Nola had a solid outing. Trey and Sosa with homers, and Duran proved why he is elite. Exactly. And also, Bohm has to hit the treadmill. Bohm has to hit the treadmill. I don't even think a treadmill is going to help, honest to God. There is a non-zero chance that Wheeler decides to retire from baseball, so it's not to risk his health any further. I'm not trying to be dramatic by saying this, but it is certainly. Oh yeah, I'm sure it's on the table whatsoever. But knowing Zach Wheeler, with the competitor that he is, he's probably not going to let that stop him from going back on the mound because he has verbally committed, and made a promise that after the contract is over, that's when he's retiring. So I'm sure he's going to try to find a way to get back onto the mound. But I wouldn't be shocked if this forces him to retire either. Like, if he just can't do it, like, once he recovers, it's all dependent on how the surgery and the recovery goes. I do have the slight fear in the back of my mind that when he comes back from this, that he might not be the same pitcher, velocity-wise and all that stuff. I'm just not sure how a pitcher can come. Like, I don't know the history of pitchers who've had this type of surgery that come back. I just don't know at all. Like, I don't know any pitchers that have come back from this type of surgery. Maybe I could do that research. I'm not entirely sure. So what's the surgery called? It's called thoracic or thoracic. I don't even know how to pronounce it. Outlet decompression syndrome, or outlet decompression surgery pitchers. What are pitchers that have come back from that surgery? Oh, no, fucking pictures. I want pitchers. In Major League Baseball pitchers, that was in 2022. Have any other pitchers gone through this surgery? Have any other pitchers gone through this surgery? Here we go. Wheeler's case of this syndrome is similar to that of Merrill Kelly with the Rangers, who underwent the same procedure in 2020. Kelly had his surgery in September of that year, similar to when Wheeler will likely have his. And Merrill Kelly was ready by spring training, and he went on to make 27 starts in 2021. So I guess that's what you got to go off of. But this is also where you also got to think about it right here. This is also the type of injury that led to Steven Strasburg's career ending. So he can either be Merrill Kelly and come back and still pitch like his normal self, or he could be Steven Strasburg and it just ends his career. So those are the two things that you got to go off of. So we have no idea. We have no idea. But it really just depends on the individual because there's still a lot of unknowns with this. So it's just you just got to take it day by day. You got to take it day by day, case by case. But those are really, and I just read the article right there on MLB.com. Those are the two pitchers that they brought up: Merrill Kelly and Steven Strasburg. Not scared of the Dodgers, but there are 2 Miami series left, and they are always out for blood. Just ask the Yankees. I think have the Marlins died off since that hot series against the Yankees, or are they just like there? They are 9 games below 500. They have been losing a lot more. They have been coming back down to earth. It looks like. Okay, so look at this. So after that sweep of the Yankees, they lost the series to the Astros. They lost 4 of 5 to the Braves. They lost a 2 of 3 to the Guardians. They lost 2 of 3 to Boston. They lost 2 of 3 to the Cleveland or St. Louis, and they just lost 2 of 3 to Toronto. So they probably just came back down to earth. So that makes sense. That makes sense because they were playing way above their heads. Yeah. So sad though about the Wheeler because all in likelihood his chance to win a Cy Young. Oh yeah, his chances are probably over. If that dude comes back and somehow wins a Cy Young, that is probably the greatest story in the fucking world. Coming back from that situation, because that is just crazy. But just let the man get healthy at this point. Let the man get healthy. Let him get his surgery. See where the rehab stuff goes. And if he's back by spring training, he's back by spring training. It just depends on how his body heals. So yeah. That's basically all we got at this point. So, yeah. That'll do it for today, everybody. Appreciate y'all for tuning in as always. So don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It does me a great deal of service. As always, with the YouTube algorithm, you can also use the code TTPSPORTS to $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Great deal. Don't pass it up. Appreciate y'all for tuning in as always. So, yeah. I will see you tomorrow afternoon. Hopefully after a Phillies series win. So